When you're only number 2, you try harder. Or else. Little fish have to keep moving all of the time. The big ones never stop picking on them. Avis knows all about the problems of little fish. We're only number 2 in rent cars. We'd be swallowed up if we didn't try harder. There's no rest for us. We're always emptying ashtrays, making sure gas tanks are full before we rent our cars, seeing that the batteries are full of life, checking our windshield wipers. And the cars we rent out can't be anything less than lively new super torque Fords. And since we're not the big fish, you won't feel like a sardine when you come to our counter. We're not jammed with customers. Preface. Everybody pulls for David. Nobody roots for Goliath. Wilt Chamberlain. In the beginning was Avis, the little fish, aiming to reverse the food chain. And Avis begat the Pepsi Challenge. And the Pepsi Challenge begat Apple 1984. And they all had a love child together called Richard Branson, who was then knighted by Her Majesty the Queen for services to the underdog. And that was the way we thought challengers went. Really. All doing the same sort of thing, all very successfully. All plucky underdogs, all asking us to take a position, all creating the impression that this hugely crowded category was in reality simply a matter of a 2-horse race and asking us whose side we were going to take. Were we with the little guy or the big guy here? And from then on, every decade there seemed to be one new iconic battle between challenger and leader. And those iconic battles always seem to take essentially the same form. Small challenger makes public challenge to market leader in open pursuit of column inches, news footage, sympathy, and sales. A charmingly scrappy David against a visible and now we realize, strangely sinister Goliath. There was nothing wrong in any of these challengers, and everything right about this stance, of course, but it was always at its heart exactly the same stance. David versus Goliath. Yet the past 15 years have seen a remarkable new diversity and flowering of challenger thinking around us, in 3 important and distinct senses. The number of brands openly adopting a challenger stance, the diversity of challenger stances they have taken, and the change that some of the most successful of these challengers have made to the fundamental way we think about and interact with long-established categories. The number of brands openly adopting a challenger stance. The first significant recent development in the world of challenger brands is in the number of brands and other entities, countries and cities for example, explicitly adopting this challenger brand stance. Large companies from North America to Singapore to South Africa openly declaring they want and need to think like challengers, company-wide. And alongside them, we find an even larger number of commentators discussing brands through this explicit lens. If you Google challenger brand today, you'll find people writing about the challenger brand approach in business from India to Australia to Mauritius, ranging from the fields of politics to education via soap powder and social networking sites along the way. The concept and language of a challenger brand has become a mainstream and explicit part of the marketing landscape, whether it is always fully understood or not. The diversity of challenger stances. The second key development in challenger brand thinking over the past 15 years lies in the diversity of challenger stances we see taken by challengers in their chosen marketplace. One of the purposes of the second edition of this book, in fact, is to help us intelligently look at options other than the default challenger model, which one might characterize as essentially a cluster of attributes around the David versus Goliath theme. Understanding this broader diversity and how we use it to our advantage is going to be central to our success.